Guess I'm the one you've been talking about. Guess I'm the one you've been talking about. Unpopular.
Here with John with Skillet. We're going to talk today about the new single that is dropping. When you guys see this, this will be dropping on Friday. So today, I know I'm gonna leave it up to you. I'm gonna throw it over to you. I'm not gonna give anything away. I've got to hear the song. The song is amazing. So, John, tell us about the new Skillet song coming out.
Well, that's kind. Thanks. Good to talk to you, Jesse. Now, I just want people to know watching this. I didn't know this was gonna be video, so I didn't have time to take a shower or fix my beard. We're in the process of moving, and I had to what do you call it? I had to do some wood projects, so I'm covered in wood shavings. I'm an amateur carpenter, and I had to
Can't
do
even
some.
see it. I can't even
Yeah,
see it.
I was like, I gotta look decent, and I got the wood shavings out of my beard, which is good. Good. Anyway, all right. So I actually forgot. Oh yeah, I'm releasing a new music. This is crazy. It's been such a crazy year. So the new song's coming out. It's called Unpopular. I did get to play it for you in our bus when we got to hang out, and we're excited about it. The song is a little slightly different for skill. It's a little raw. It's a little bit more raw, I think, than maybe our last record was. The instrumentation feels a little bit more organic, and that's just musician talk for natural. They're no more natural instruments, and it's just a bit more rocking like that. And I think that was good because I think the message of the song, it's a little bit tongue in cheek. It's got some tongue in cheek elements to it, but it's meant to be a little bit funny. But also, it's got some attitude. It's funny but serious, and it's saying the world's gone so nuts that the things the world loves are so disgusting and so crazy. Like in a world gone mad, would you really want to be popular? I mean, that's kind of the joke of the song. Do you really want to be on these people's side? Do you want to be in the people like cheering, like, oh, it's so great getting to watch the Olympic ceremony with my kids and seeing drag queens act like they're doing a Lord's Supper imitation? Isn't that great? We're so
Mm,
popular. And so we're like, no, I don't want to be on that team. I want to be on the side of like normal people.
mm.
And
Yes.
so that's kind of the message of the song. And that's kind of the hook line of the song. Um, which is today's a good day to be unpopular. Like just owning it. Yeah, I want to be unpopular. I want to be on the side of people that are like, oh, I still kind of like raising my family and going to church and loving my kids and not being weird and loving freedom. Another thing the song talks about is it's just the amount of people that are like almost like poo-pooing freedom, almost like,
Mm,
isn't it great? We need to start clamping down on speech in the name of some sort of democracy or whatever they're doing, which is not really true. I'm probably not
yeah.
explaining that well, but it's like a fake democracy. In other words, they want to be tyrannical. And then you have a lot of people saying, yeah, you got to let them do it because we love people. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still into freedom and family and church, not ashamed of Christ, not ashamed of the gospel of Christ is the power of God for salvation for everyone who believes. And that's kind of the gist of the song.
Mm,
There you
mm.
go.
Well, and two, like, you know, we get to talk a lot, and I know your heart behind this song. You guys, and we'll talk about this in a second. You guys are about to go out on a tour, which isn't, it's very rare kind of the day that Skillet plays quote unquote Christian concerts or Christian tours. You guys are just out there playing music, and a lot of those happen to deal with, what many would call the secular world, right? This song also speaks to that. It's a very, what you would call, even to that crowd, even though it's got a very good message in it and it speaks about Christ and Christianity, but it's also a very rock and roll type of thing to do, right? To be
Mm.
that person that stands out in the crowd and says, I don't care what people think about me. So, also, I know that kind of went into a little bit of what you were thinking about with this song. And again, you guys are about, and speak to that, about to go out on tour. Where you're gonna, you guys just started playing this song, if I'm not correct, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's a great point you're making. The song is not overtly, preachy. It's not really proselytizing. It's almost like you can kind of take it to mean what you want. I think people that know Skillet or have heard of the band are probably aware that we're Christians because we're so vocal about it. And
Yeah.
so there's an assumption made there, but certainly this is something that like the Joe Rogan crowd, the Kid Rock crowd,
Hmm.
even the Bill Maher crowd, which Bill Maher is an atheist Democrat,
Hmm.
would hear and be like, yeah, I get this because people have gone crazy. And I do think it's kind of it is a rock and roll thing to do. Rock and roll is always, there's lots to say about that, but it always had that rebellious tinge to it.
Hmm.
I'm not writing a song to please the crowd. I'm writing a song because it's what I believe, and rock and roll is inherently rebellious. That's true. It was when it began. But for Skillet, it hasn't been about rebellion against God or rebellion against, uh, traditional whatever
Right. Church.
traditional
Yeah.
values,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or like, as they would call them now, western mores, western sexual taboos or something like that. Yeah, no, for us it was like, well, yeah, there's things I want to sing about and I want to do it the way we want to do it. And so there is that's what I think is so cool about this song.
Mm.
It's got that rebellion to it. But I'm like, yeah, this is something that everybody can relate to. Part of it is alluding to even like just this idea of like cancel culture too, that
Mm.
if you speak what's on your mind, you're going to lose your friends. I mean,
Yep.
I gotta tell you, it's been remarkable to me. I mean, I've got tons of friends who are not Christians and who are on the left and who are progressives, and they say stuff against my faith all the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
And they're still my friends. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I that's who they are. I don't know. They're my
Yeah.
friends. I love them, and if I don't like it, I'll tell them. But at the same time, I think that tolerance has kind of got to work both ways. I'm not asking for them to be kicked off of social media because they said something that hurts my feels, or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
anyway, I guess that's kind of like going over the same territory as I already said, but there is that element. It's that rebellion, but I also think that the song just rocks. It's got a rebellious attitude to it it's kind of funny and catchy.
Yeah, yeah, no, the song is killer. It just, I think Octane just premiered it on Sirius XM, just premiered it today. So normal, regular radio station that I listen to on Sirius. So I'll be hearing that one soon, hopefully. Let me jump into the name of, because you also released the name of the new album, and you've got a new album coming out. So speak about that.
Yeah, absolutely. The album's called Revolution, and if people see the artwork, which we've just released, you'll see there's like a flag and it says Skillet on there, and then in the corner of the flag, if you look, you'll see it's got a verse, 1 Corinthians 13:13. I wanted to put that on there. In fact, I should just give a little bit of a nod to Striper. Striper always had that, their verse
Yep.
under their logo,
Yes. Yep.
and I thought, I wonder if we should do like a verse. And I thought Striper always did that. That was kind of clever. And because, they're just going, hey, this is like our motto, or whatever. But I thought it would be important because we're in a time in this country of revolution. And I want to make sure that people know the kind of revolution that I am talking about is very different than some of the revolution that we that we often hear
Yes.
about on the news, which is a revolution against America, against God, against Western civilization, against the Bible. And I'm thinking, well, certainly people will know that's not what I mean. So I put that little verse, and that's the one that says, like, we hold on to these things: faith, hope, and love. These
Mm.
things will never go away, and the greatest is love. And the reason that's so important is because the revolution we're talking about on this record is not a political revolution. It is certainly not a militaristic one, which I've never supported. It's a revolution of love.
Mm.
It's a revolution, I should say, for love is what I should say. It's a revolution to love your enemies. It's a revolution to hold on. Um, in fact, you could even really philosophically call it a counter revolution. Really, it's revolution against the revolution that wants to tear down these traditional things that are so wonderful. I don't
Yeah.
want to end freedom of speech and freedom to assemble, to go to go to my church and worship God, to preach the gospel unhindered. Now, we're going to preach the gospel no matter what the government says, but it sure is nice to be able to preach the gospel without, being fined or having penalties or worse, going to jail or something like that. This is a really wonderful thing. And so it's that sort of revolution, but it's also a revolution, very much a spiritual awakening. The things I feel passionate about, I know that you've written in so many of the articles we talked about, but we're living in a really atheistic time in our country. It used to not be like this. And so what you now have is a generation of people that are now becoming young adults who were raised in an America where people just don't believe in God.
Yeah.
And they don't believe, because if you don't believe in God, then you don't believe in any sort of almost like eternal consequences to the way you live your life, because there are no consequences and we don't know what matters and what doesn't matter. And I just live for me. I live for the way I feel. And I try to do what's right, And because of that, we now have a generation of just depressed people. And it makes sense that they're depressed. They are medicated, highly medicated. They have been told that their lives don't have any grand purpose outside of basically Darwin's evolution. Just basically either the strongest survive, or they have to try to manufacture a reason that they matter. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
When you believe in God, you know that you matter because you were created by a creator. And that gives you a sense of purpose and identity. And then you begin to go, okay, well, then if there is a God, then how does he want me to live? Those are normal questions. And maybe there's eternal significance to my life. You take God out of it, and now you're dealing with young people, the highest rates of suicide in recorded history in America, depression, medication. It's just so sad. And so there is this revolution against these false ideologies that are so harmful. So harmful. And so it's a little bit of a, hey guys, we are losing the plot here and it ain't going good. And so you're going to hear those kind of songs on the record.
Yeah, no, super excited for it. All right. And I want to kind of even preference that to kind of say, and I'll add on to it, is I've seen you many a times in a secular setting performing with secular bands. And John, I thank you for this. And I thank you that Skillet is about Christ. It is hard. It is impossible to leave a Skillet concert, not knowing that your hero, who you stand for, is Jesus Christ. So I want to say thank you for that, because that's an unheard thing of, honestly, even a lot of Christian music in a Christian setting. So you embodying that idea of, this is a revolution to push against a non-biblical culture, right? And says, no, we care about Christ, and I'm unashamed to speak that no matter where I am, and God's got us in a secular setting, evangelizing through our witness. So I just want to say, well done. And thank you for that. Not many people get to see that, because maybe they're not able to go to concerts or take their family to those type of concerts, but you are doing a great job. So that I want to jump into. You are about to jump on a new tour. You're going to go out on tour. Speak a little bit about that and where people can go to see the dates of that.
All right. Well, excuse me. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate the solidarity and the good word. And so, yes, we are going on tour with Seether. And you sort of alluded to this. We tour with all sorts of bands in the rock world, which is what we feel called to do. And they're my friends, and I really appreciate them. And I think a lot of these people feel the way I do, which is that we already said it. Rock music is about writing a song about something you believe in. And so I feel that I'm really blessed to have a bunch of friends in that world who may not agree with me on Christianity, may not agree with me that Jesus is Lord, and on then all sorts of other ethical and moral and political things at that. But there's sort of, I think, a good You know what? I'll use one of the left's words, inclusivity. Isn't that nice? Tolerance and inclusivity. But I really like that. And so we are going on this tour. And I think one of the reasons for me, like when people hear this new song, Unpopular, one of the things I really want to do for people is make you feel, let's see, I'm trying to think of a good example. You know, sometimes I see it with I can't really think. You know, when you see somebody online, you know, or in the political arena, stand up for something that like you believe it. So something happens and we go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has happened. And then you see somebody in the public eye stand up for people like us. We feel like the little people, right? And you just feel so like, yes, okay, wait a minute. If that person stood up, then maybe I can, because I'm going through this at my job or with my whatever you may call it. And I just felt like I'm literally the only one, and I can't make a difference. You start seeing people do it. I hope that this song Unpopular does that for people. It's almost like we are self-appropriating the thing that they want us to think. They want us to think that we're uncool and we're the weirdos and we're unpopular, and we're saying, okay, you know what? Good. That's who we're going to be. And I hope that it is empowering for people. And so I know that some Christian fans feel like, man, Skillet, you know, I don't want to come see you when you're on tour with these kind of bands or this or the other. And I always say to people, I always go, I totally get it. You know, hopefully we'll do a Christian tour soon and you can come. And I understand where you're coming from. But for me, I think it's important because I want people out there working their jobs or raising their kids or going to school. I want them to see somebody doing it that makes them feel like, okay, wait a minute, if Skillet can stand up, then I can stand up in my personal life, and I can feel that solidarity. So that's what Skillet is doing. So go to you know, skillet.com or Skillet Music. That's our tag on a lot of the socials, and find out where we're touring. And if you want to come out, come on out. And if you don't, catch us next time. You know, check out the new song and you know, keep rocking.
Yeah. And you guys also download a brand new app that you just had come out, correct?
Brand new. It's so new that I don't even feel like I am qualified to talk about it yet, because I was like, whoa, okay, this is really cool. But in general, yes, it's a Skillet app. And our aim is to kind of give some exclusive content to me. It's almost like a new version of the fan clubs when I was growing up. You know, I remember sending fan club letters in to Petra and Striper, and you know, and you get something back and you feel like it's exclusive. The great thing about the internet is that now it breaks down all of those walls, and so now everybody can find out. I know it's true because I have the little green light on me right now. Everybody's watching, but it breaks down those exclusive walls. I always laugh when people, and I go, man, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, if I could have known what John Bon Jovi had for dinner tonight, I don't think I ever would have left the internet. You know, it would have been like, what's Bon Jovi doing? What's Tommy Lee from Motley Crue? You know, what's Metallica doing tonight? You know, what is Lars from Metallica think about Ronald Reagan? Think about that. Put yourself in the 80s. Isn't that crazy? It's 1986. What does he have to say? That's good. But also, what about that special thing, you know, that special fan club thing? So I think that's kind of like what we're going for, is a modern version of that. We can give you some updated information, something exclusive that you feel like is just for the panheads, and help kind of create just another new thing for the like the super fan, you know?
Yeah, that's great. All right. Thank you so much, John. Everybody go check out Unpopular. It comes out Friday, which is tomorrow, but when you see this, it'll be today. So check it out. Streaming everywhere.
Tomorrow
download
is today.
It tomorrow. Hey, that's a very good. It's a good album name there. So yes, check that out. You got me sidetracked, John. Check that out, and then you also have a new album come out, which you can pre-order and get that. The links will be in the bottom of this, also in the article. Check it out. And Skillet is rocking. They're on tour. Go see them. Thank you very much, John. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
I think today's a good day to be a part